If your coaching business is currently stuck between 3K to 12K per month and you'd like to scale up to 20 to 30K per month, there's 4 big problems that are going to come up at different levels of your growth over and over again. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to identify those 4 roadblocks and how to solve them so that you can continue to scale without getting stuck for months or even years. This is the same troubleshooting process that I've used myself to scale 2 coaching businesses up to multiple 6 figures, and the same process I've used to help dozens of other coaches add 5K to 15K per month to their businesses over the past year. So obviously, the first thing that you need to do is identify which problem is actually the real roadblock so that you can address the right problem at the right time. So in this video, I'm going to go through each of these problems one at a time. We're going to talk about the symptoms of each and then give you a solution. Sound like a plan? Great, let's get to it then. So problem number 1 is that you don't have consistent lead flow. The symptoms of this might look like your inbox is empty, you're not getting inbound leads, ideally on a daily basis, you're constantly chasing after leads, DMing every new person that follows you or anybody that likes a post. You're always stressing about where your next client is going to come from. So most coaches get stuck in this trap at this level here because they've been told or they believe that organic is the only way to grow or build a business. They're stuck posting 3 times a day on multiple different platforms. They're commenting on 100 posts, doing the follow-unfollow bullshit, maybe getting lucky once in a while with a viral post. This is bullshit. This is not a plan. This might have worked back in 2016, 2017, but the game has changed a lot since then. Organic marketing is unpredictable, it's uncontrollable, and it's basically like buying a lottery ticket and hoping to get rich. So how do we fix it? For this one, there is a 2-part solution. Part 1 of the solution is that you need to be running ads. If you're not running ads, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're not serious about your business growth. Using an ad system creates a consistent, controllable, and predictable inbound lead generation system so you can stop chasing prospects or trying to get lucky with the algorithms. Now, to start running ads, you can start with very simple ads for less than $10 per day. You spend $5 on a follower ad to start growing your audience with quality leads, and you spend another $5 per day on a DM ad that retargets your current followers so that you can extract the ready-to-buy leads without spamming sales pitches in your content and on your stories every day. Then once you start to get more clients from these ads, you start to scale up your ad spend too as you're making more money. So part 2 of the solution here is that you also need to optimize everything else in your social media presence for conversations with your leads. So that means like your Instagram bio, your pinned posts, your highlights, your daily stories, your daily feed posts. All of that should have call to actions offering a free lead magnet. This is going to get you inbound leads every single day. So once you have some ads running and you've optimized everything else for conversations, you should have your lead generation problem solved for good. And that's problem number 1 out of the way. Problem number 2 is inconsistent client signups. So the symptoms of this issue are going to look like your offers converting less than 20 to 25% of your leads into clients. You're not able to charge the prices that you want. You get ghosted all the time in the DMs. You get a lot of smokescreen objections in the DMs as well. But all those are actually just these surface level symptoms, right? That kind of show up in your day to day. The real problem here is that your audience doesn't trust you enough. So in the DMs, you're getting objections like, I can't afford it, not right now, or just getting ghosted, right? The solution to this problem actually comes from some research that Google did a couple of years ago. So this has come to be known as the 7-11-4 study. And what it says is that before somebody buys from a brand online, they typically need 7 hours of engagement with content across 11 different touch points and 4 different locations. So what that means is that if you want to build trust with your audience before they buy, you need a content ecosystem to warm them up, to nurture leads, and build massive amounts of trust very quickly. So while years ago, it might have worked fine to just use Instagram to pull in like the ready to buy leads and convert them into clients with a few image posts, a couple carousels, maybe some short videos. That simplicity doesn't work anymore. So what I'm seeing work best now is kind of just using Instagram as like the top of the funnel attention capturing platform, and that's it. Then once we've captured that attention, we push the leads throughout the rest of the ecosystem. We push them to long form content on YouTube like this video right here. We push them to email as well. This gets people kind of binge consuming your content, seeing you in multiple places with lots of different touch points, and quickly consuming hours of content and engaging with you in as little as a few weeks. Then once you have this in place, once you build out your ecosystem, you're going to have leads messaging you all the time, like, how do I sign up, right? Because they're already warmed up, they've built the trust with you, they're ready to buy. And your client conversion rate, your client conversion problem should be solved. Problem number 3 is really interesting. So if you're dealing with problems 1 and 2 at the same time, it's likely a much bigger issue. And the real problem is this. Your brand isn't doing the heavy lifting that it needs to. Your brand is the foundation of everything in your business. So when this is the issue, when you've got this big problem here, you're kind of going to experience a mix of all the different symptoms that we've already talked about. So you'll start to see like your audience isn't growing, right? Your engagement is dead. You're hardly converting any leads into clients. You hardly have any inbound leads at all. You get ghosted or ignored in the DMs. Your return on ad spend is very low. Clients are leaving you as fast as they come in, right? So that's kind of like the big picture mess of symptoms that you're seeing all at once. And if you're seeing all those different things, it's very likely that your brand is the issue. So how do we fix this? Well, the problem is that your brand is just blending in, right? The solution is that you need to stand out. You need to differentiate your brand. You need to separate yourself from all the noise and the competition in your market. So it's not really a complicated or complex solution, but it does take a lot of intentional effort. So I actually made a very in-depth 36-minute masterclass on branding that you can check out on my channel, but I'm going to give you kind of a quick rundown right here. So there are 7 levels to building a category of one brand. Level 1 is your person. You want to pick your ideal client and the exact type of person that you want to work with, not the entire world. But you also don't want to niche down so small that you push away 99% of potential buyers. Level 2 is your promise. You want to make one big, clear, and measurable promise that your audience is already desperate to achieve. Level 3 is the problem. You want to define a unique roadblock that is standing in the way of your prospects achieving their results so that you can become the coach who truly gets it. Level 4 is your authority. You create authority by creating a unique mechanism, which is your secret sauce or your magic pill that makes it the obvious choice for your market because it feels like the missing piece of the problem that they're trying to solve, that they just didn't have this one thing, right? That's how you build authority, by creating this unique mechanism and position it as the solution to your prospects' problems. Level 5 is your beliefs. So what you want to do is you want to share your contrarian beliefs and opinions that piss off the wrong people, but magnetize and pull in the right ones. Level 6 is your associations. You want to be very intentional about what ideas, values, and people that your brand associates with, and more importantly, who it rejects, the ideas, values, and beliefs, and people that your brand rejects as well. Lastly, number 7 is your brand story. So you want to tell the why behind all of your choices in levels 1 to 6 so that people can connect with you and not just your program. So that is the short, quick version of how to build a brand that positions you as the category king in your niche. If you want more in-depth on that, you can check out the full masterclass on my channel. Problem number 4 that prevents you from scaling is that you simply have no time. So the symptoms of this look like you spend all of your time working in the business with no time left over to work on the business. Your calendar is always full. You have a never-ending to-do list. You stress about taking a day off or even an afternoon off, or God forbid, a vacation, right? This is never going to work if you're trying to scale your business. The best business is a boring business, a business that gives you more time to think than you have to spend actually working in the business. Plus, even forgetting about the money for a second, you didn't start an online business because you wanted to work more hours and be more stressed out than you used to be in your 9 to 5, right? You started it for freedom, but you ended up building a business that was essentially just a prison for yourself. So how do we fix this problem? You need to build systems with leverage where you can get more results out of less input. There are so many different things that we could talk about here to reduce the amount of time that you work while making more money. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, but I don't want to make this a 2-hour-long video. So what I'm going to do is going to give you a quick wins here. Number 1 is you need to understand Parkinson's law, which is that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Nobody works as hard as they think that they do. That might be hard to hear because you're probably in denial about that, but I promise you, you might be working or sitting at your computer 10 plus hours per day, but chances are you're only working 60 to 70% of that or less. So you can solve that problem by simply giving yourself tighter deadlines and more clearly defining the tasks and the outcomes that you need to complete on a daily basis, and that alone is going to save you a ton of time. You can also help this by setting clear end of day cutoffs, like computer shut off limits every single day to kind of force yourself to focus more and get more done in a shorter time period. Number 2 is one of my favorite leverage systems ever, which is switching from sales calls to selling by chat. How much time do you waste every single week either on a sales call or waiting for a sales call that ends up no-showing and just ghosting you? Probably a lot, right? And I'm sure that you hate sales calls, and I promise you your prospects hate sales calls too. So most coaches can save 10 plus hours per week by selling in the DMs and through email with a simple offer doc instead of selling on the phone or through Zoom. And I promise you, it'll be much more peaceful and a lot less stressful too. Number 3 is to dial in your retention, renewal, and referral systems. When clients stay longer and they bring leads to you, you can spend even less time on content, marketing, and sales. So most coaches make the mistake of spending the majority of their time and their effort on sales and marketing, and they end up neglecting their clients. But if you flip that around and you spend the majority of your time with clients, you'll get them better results, and your business becomes much easier to run and much easier to scale faster as well. So there you have it. 4 problems, 4 solutions, and a game plan to get unstuck so you can keep scaling. Now, here's my suggestion for all of this. Don't ever try to solve multiple problems at once or work on multiple solutions at the same time. Pick one problem as your biggest roadblock and address that first by tackling one solution at a time. And ideally, with that, you're also hopefully tracking your numbers throughout your entire business as well. And if you are tracking your numbers, you can use the data that you have to make informed decisions and easily identify the biggest roadblock so that you're not trying to fix the wrong thing. If not, you should fix that problem first and start tracking your data so that you actually know what the real problem is and you don't end up just kind of guessing or making emotional assumptions. And if you want to see a breakdown of how all the different systems I've mentioned here kind of work together to create a scalable coaching business capable of multiple 6 figures and only 3 to 4 hours per day of work, check out this video right here.